Hello everyone. Hope you're all doing great. I know most of the people are getting bored, but still I feel this is the great time to spend with your family because there are so many who got stuck up at different places away from home. And there are some people who are serving nation and other people who are doing social services. Salute to all of them and let's get started with our video. Today's our video is all about myths and facts related to food. So myth is a belief what we are strongly believing since our childhood or since very long period, maybe because of people around us, as they might have saying such things which we also have started believing and following accordingly. So we are going to break 5 of such myths today, and we are going to know facts behind it and what to follow accordingly. Our first myth says a low carbohydrate diet is the best way to lose weight. I know many of us believe this and follow it, but I am going to start by saying this line: anything which is more than the limit leads to weight gain, no matter how good that food is. What we have to understand here is carbohydrate is primary source of energy to our body, especially to brain and nervous system. So if we don't include enough of carbohydrates in our diet, energy starts yielding from protein. But protein main function is to repair and maintain the body. So in this case, if protein starts giving energy to our body, who will do maintenance and repair work, which has to go on throughout? So what we have to follow is, as per National Institute of Nutrition, 55 to 65% of our daily intake should consist of carbohydrate. And we have to concentrate on our overall calorie intake in a day. It's not just carbohydrate because, as I have already said, it's a primary fuel of our energy. So try including required amount of carbohydrate in your daily intake. Our second myth says fats are bad for health. Actually speaking, fats are a storage form of concentrated fuel for the human energy system. So that means they back up carbohydrate. And an important function of fat is it serves as a vehicle for fat soluble vitamins. So without fat in the body, these vitamins cannot be absorbed. So that vitamins are vitamin A, D, E and K. So it is very necessary for us to have adequate and good quality of fat in the diet with polyunsaturated fatty acid in good amount. What National Institute of Nutrition says is 20 to 30% of our daily intake should include fat. But be aware of trans fat and saturated fat, because of which your bad cholesterol will be increased. Next, with what I am going to talk about is what I am listening since my childhood and even now, and that is only milk has good amount of calcium. Yes, I agree it has, but there are so many other foods which have unbelievable amount of calcium in it. For example, 100 ml of buffalo milk has 210 mg of calcium, whereas 100 grams of ragi has 344 mg of calcium, and 100 grams of gingerly seeds have 1450 mg of calcium. That means 2 spoons of gingerly seeds a day will fulfill your calcium intake. What I am going to say here is try to depend on other foods for calcium intake, because milk we get these days is all synthetic. If you have a good source of organic milk, then happily you can go for it because it has good amount of protein. But for calcium intake, try to depend on other foods. Our fourth myth says all calories are equally treated. Meaning of this line is, for example, one chocolate gives you 100 calories. One banana gives you the same 100 calories. But it's not just the same. Body won't treat it in the same way. Maybe one food gives you full of calories, but other food gives you calories with good nutritional content in it. So that benefits our body, right? So, different calorie sources have vastly different effects on hunger, hormones, energy expenditure, and the brain regions that control food intake. Even though calories are important, counting them or even being consciously aware of them is not all necessary to lose weight. In many cases, simple changes in food selection can lead to better results than restricting your calorie intake. So, it's always important to have good food. So, our last myth is about one of my and I think everybody's favorite. Yes, it's mango. Does mango make you gain weight? As I've said at the starting of my video, anything more than a limit makes you gain weight. Actually, mango comes under the glycemic index of 40 to 60 as per the variety of the mango. So, actually, glycemic index is of the scale 1 to 100. Anything food which comes below 60 is good for your health. Actually, mango has many good benefits. It increases your happy hormones. It is a good immunity booster. It has a good amount of vitamin C. In turn, if it is eaten in the right amount, it loses your weight. One more point to be added is people who are suffering with diabetes can also eat mangoes. As I have said earlier, glycemic index of mango comes under 60. That means it doesn't raise your blood sugar level instantly. Point to be remembered is everything has a limit. So, friends, it's the season for mangoes. You can go and have it happily. So, that's all for today. There are many other myths which I'll cover up in my coming videos. Hope everybody liked it. Comment and let me know what's your take from this video. And thank you so much for your encouragement for my last post. Hope you will continue the same. Bye bye.